Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. You are officially in 2026, but not us. We're in 2025. I'm here with Kyle Lewis. Kyle, how you feeling, brother?
Good. Still time traveling since we're in 2025 and watching stuff from 1998. We're all over the place.
We're trying to get in these archives before they shut down. Any second now, they're going to shut down, so we're trying to get it all in. Um, we're recording some episodes in advance, and then we'll take it from there. But I wanted to get a lot of this in because 1998 is my favorite year. And I've been really enjoying 1998. What about you?
It's been good. It's been good so far, so good. Sold out, exceeded expectations. Just watching the rise of Kane that we were talking about and kind of seeing Stone Cold in his like infancy, for lack of a better term. It's kind
Um,
of
oh,
it's been cool. And then we have this show, which I will talk about later, which for me was kind of like a weird mix. It's like compared to January, it was just like what are some of these matches? But
well,
I guess they're trying to figure it out as we go along. I don't know.
well, I will say this show is way better than No Way Out.
Yes,
So
that's different.
I thought it is crazy the level of talent that they have. When you compare the level of talent to unless you can't, I don't want to hear about Triple H and Rock in like fucking 2000. I'm talking about February '98. When you compare the level of talent WWF has compared to WCW, right? It
Hmm.
is insane. It is insane the talent they have, and if they utilize them the right way, what they could have done. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. The the gap is so wide, just on a pure work rate standpoint. And Rock's gonna get better, but right now, what I'm saying is you have to look at where Rock and Triple H and Undertaker were at February '98. The gap is so wide, it's fucking insane, right?
Yeah, no, they are not names yet. Well, Undertaker is, but The Rock is finding himself. Triple H is it's just a hand. He's like a JD McDonough.
Yeah,
Just gets his ass beat and like says a few things, gets his ass beat, and then you have everyone else is trying to like the headbang. A lot of these characters are not going to be here in the next year, or going to be drastically changed. The headbangers, the Godwins, like these people who were watching, or who we watched on No Way Out, Vader, are either going to be gone. Like the whole roster is going to change within a year, except
yeah,
for like a core 10 people.
yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch it play out. But I remember, I think when I got back into wrestling, um, in '98, early '98. This is before WrestleMania. I think I had in my head that WWF will always be a distant number two to WCW. I did not expect it to change in 2 months that fast. When I started watching, I was just like, "There's no way they're ever going to catch up to these guys. They got nothing besides Stone Cold, and he can't be on the show for 2 hours."
Yeah,
And
the awesome yeah. The Awesome McMahon carried it, and then you had DX where
yeah,
I know people give Triple H a lot of shit. DX and the combination of DX and the Outlaws, the second edition,
yeah,
really helped move Raw forward while they figured out the rest of this stuff, the NWA and Bodacious Bart, and we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
we're way ahead of
But
ourselves.
yeah.
The night after WrestleMania, if you could find that Raw, the Raw after WrestleMania 14, I think is more important than WrestleMania 14 because it sets up a ton of storylines that The Rock turning on Farouk happens that night. X-Pac comes out. Uh, Cactus Jack gets beat up and then turns heel. Like all this shit happens that sets up. Oh, and the big thing is McMahon says to Austin, "We can do things the easy way or the hard way."
Yeah, starting the whole thing, really starting it off.
Austin, yes, and that is the kickoff of the evil McMahon character.
Might be
That
the best Raw after WrestleMania of all time.
that promo with Austin and Rock. I mean, I'm sorry, Austin McMahon, and we were jumping ahead, but that promo with Austin McMahon, never saw this brand like that before, and I'm like, where are they going with this? But I'm fucking excited. Like, what does he mean? We can do things the easy way or the hard way, and like,
Hmm.
and like it was really cool. It was like a mob boss talking to like a fucking underling, and
Yeah. But what I remember, and this is the day after or the week after, is Foley's heel turn because he's like, I'm getting my ass kicked. You're
you're
all chanting for Austin. Like you're not chanting for me. You're
yeah, that
chanting
was
for someone else. And I always
yeah,
thought that was so cool. Which still happens to this day. Like
yeah,
LA Knight's getting destroyed and people are like OTC. It's like, what are you chanting for him for? He's not gonna be here.
yeah, and it was they've never recaptured that particular episode of Raw with their Raws after Manias, but they should try they should try they should make the January 6th Raw that important, but they won't.
I mean,
Uh,
based off rumors, it might be.
well, fucking. Well, we'll get to him in a second. So let's start the show. They have a little video package about Sting and Hogan. I did notice the urgency they have that Sting has to destroy Hogan is kind of gone in these announcers. I looked at it. I didn't see this show. This is my first time watching this show, but I remember the kids in school talking about this show, and to me, it felt like a pretty definitive final blow to the NWO. And the show just kind of treats it like just another day. Like the gone is like the earth, like Sting has to beat this guy or the planet's gonna blow up. It's just
Yeah.
like we're gonna find out a new champion, whatever. And they don't really. He gets his win, but it's not really treated as like oh my. It's not treated the way Cody and Roman was treated.
No, I when I watched it, I was like, wait, that's how it ended. I forgot how it ended because it really just sets up Hogan's next feud immediately. And you're like, oh, all right. That, I guess that's the way to go. They started setting it up from Monday night, which I didn't see. And the one thing I'll tell you about this show is I was curious to see what happened the night show after, which I guess is a sign of a good pay-per-view when we're watching these. They'll all be gone, but that I want to see, hey, what happened this week after they did this?
And I checked it out, and the first thing they do is talk about Scott Steiner. They didn't mention Sting winning the belt. Like Sting got the belt from Hogan. There's no question about it, and they don't even care. And it's like, isn't this like we're talking about? It's back to just the NWO. It's back to and then, dude, Bret Hart's not the pay per view, but they have him talking about Scott Steiner. It's like, why did you sign this guy? You ruined this guy's life. He didn't want to go. You could have said to him, "Hey, you know what? You should take the pay cut for Vince. We're not taking you." Like you ruined his life. He could have
So
been made a
both
venue 14 for less money.
both main eventers ruined his life. I mean, you could have had it either would have been a triple threat, the first WrestleMania triple threat, or you would have got Bret Austin or Bret Michaels. Well, they're not fighting each other anymore, but you either would have had Austin. I mean, you either would have had Bret Austin, Bret Michaels, or Bret Michaels Austin, and it would been kind of crazy. Where Bret Hart would have gone after that in the Attitude Era, who knows? But he would have been McMahon's Mick Foley. There's another universe out there
No universe.
where this is happening and the Marvel movies never took off and all this other stuff that I'm sure that happened in.
Bruce Pritchard once said on the podcast, if he took the pay cut, we still would have brought in Tyson, and Tyson would have exploded business. And he goes, I know for a fact, people are going to say I'm a liar. He goes, I know for a fact, when business exploded, Vince would have put him back on that deal, and he probably would have kept him on the bankroll in one way, shape, or form until TKO took over and fired him anyway. But he didn't know about TKO when he was saying that. But he said like this is in 2017 because I remember I was waiting for my friend to pick me up to see The Last Jedi. I was listening to this episode. He's like he would have been on the payroll today, even if he's sitting at home. Vince would have had him on the payroll because he took the pay cut. And but like at the same time, it's like okay, but how do we know you're gonna sign Mike Tyson and all this shit's gonna happen? And how do we know Brett doesn't just get in the way of all this
Yeah.
awesome?
No, I
So
mean they might triple threat might not have been something that they wanted to do. I say it would have been cool. Might have been not as good because you're gonna have Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels having to work with each other again. Maybe one of them doesn't want to take a pin. Derails Austin's momentum. Maybe it's just about them and not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the writing, especially if Shawn Michaels was hurt, was doing the heavy lifting. Maybe Brett
Yeah.
and Shawn have a weird alliance where the mutual enemy is Stone Cold Steve Austin. If the two egos would have allowed it, we don't
I'm
know.
gonna, I'm
We
gonna
don't know.
from my perspective, because I don't think I would have gotten back into wrestling this hard if Brett and Sean were still around WWF. I think I would have just kind of peeked my head in and went back, and we wouldn't be doing this. I think they had to leave. They had to leave, and they had to leave such a gap in terms of talent that everyone had to step. Well, most people had to step up, and that's how we got Rock Austin, and that's how we got The Rock to be where he is. I don't know if The Rock is where he is if those guys hang around. It was almost like Rock and Triple H are forced to go to the next level because otherwise it's over, and they did it. You know?
I mean, yeah, I guess this, I mean, this happens for everyone. If The Rock and Stone Cold were around 2004, 2005, 2006, you're not getting John Cena and Batista, you know?
Yeah,
You're not, or Brock Lesnar's still around too. You're not getting these guys. So these people have to leave to make way for new people, with the exception of John Cena, who stayed around for a very, very long time. But people still had to get made, and they got made. And then once he left, you had Roman Reigns, and then people who just keep having to get, people have to leave for more people to get pushed up, whether that's wrestling, whether that's stand up, whether that's anything.
yeah, and that's why like it's so annoying when people get mad that WWE fires people. They go record profits. It's like okay, but if you want Blake Monroe and you want Ricky Saints and you want these people that you want them to bring these people in, there needs they all can't be on TV at once unless you want every match to be a 5-on-5 tag. Like that's just the show every week. Like some people got to go so new people can rise up. And like I'll say someone. This is gonna sound bad, but like fucking, I just had it in my head. Like I don't know, fucking we just mentioned them last week. The LWO. At this point, it's probably better let them just go to AEW and do their thing because it's like WWE doesn't have a plan for them. And I think even if Triple H was like has Joaquin Wild win the Royal Rumble, let's just say, people are not going to accept it. Like it's just like it's the amount of work you'd have to do to like save Joaquin Wild at the expense of people that you've invested time in, like Dominic.
Hmm.
Yeah, let them go and let's bring in some other new kids and see what they can do. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's like I think Joaquin Wild and the other guy would excel in AEW.
Yeah, I think right now they are here for AAA. I mean, they're actually a great team.
Oh, good on them.
Uh,
You know what I'm
what
saying?
happened?
I said, you know what I'm saying. I forgot I forgot about AAA. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this just it's also the writing. I don't know. I don't want to shit on the writing right now, but like the Creed brothers are around, they don't do anything. There's so many wrestlers on Raw, SmackDown, NXT that do nothing. And I don't want anyone to lose their jobs. I understand the releases, it sucks, but like you gotta, I don't know, you gotta use these people, and if you're not using them, have them excel somewhere else. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't come back. Like Ricochet, I don't see coming back anytime soon. He is way better off in AEW than he's in WWE. He was a one-note character in WWE and AEW. Like he's so obnoxious and a giant heel. So that's a better fit for him
Yeah, and
and others.
yeah, and I think the
Tony
other.
Storm, another one.
But you know what? Let's stop talking about current events because for all we know,
Yes. Yeah, by
all
the time this happened, the Netflix merger happened, and they also bought the TV deals, and then they are forced to be Dynamite SmackDown.
yeah. So let's stop because people are going to be like, none of this matters because Triple H was fired and Vince Russo was hired as the head of creative by TKO and Tony Khan was arrested and you guys are just talking about nonsense. So let's
What a
go.
crazy New Year's.
We could talk about Jericho's going to show up. Meanwhile, he doesn't show up on the and he's on AEW TV beating the shit out of like fucking Hangman Page. So let's talk about what we do know, and that's 1998. Let's get to the first match. It is Rick the Model Martel. Sorry, brother. I know you're trying to get away from that. Versus Booker T. Booker T gets a big pop coming out. People are already getting behind him. Now, whoever wins this has to immediately fight Perry Saturn. Martel loses. Nice little comeback by Martel. Unfortunately, shortly after this match, he gets injured and he retires permanently. So the comeback was a big waste of time. It just goes to show that you should never try. You should always just give up. But
No.
I thought for a final paper, this is it. We're never gonna see Rick Martel on pay per view again anywhere. I thought this was a fun little match. What do you think of the first match?
I mean, he shows up. He's one of those like guys in a WWE suit that like hits somebody once or twice, beats up like the Spirit Squad or something. That's not how you really want to be in your next pay-per-view. But I thought this was a great match. I remember the injury. I remember even hearing about the injury again a couple weeks ago, like one of those like TikToks about WCW. And I didn't realize he wrestled the whole match with the torn ACL, whatever he had. He continued the match and he was moving his leg, he was running, he was drop kicking. You're like, what the? I thought his ACL was torn, but he finished that match. You would have never guessed, besides a couple of like tweaks here and there. And unfortunately, it cost him his career, and that sucks. It really does. He was seemed more in his element in this match because he was the heel. I know Rick Martel was like a big baby face in like the early 80s and like with Strikeforce, but he seemed like he always to me he is that arrogant heel. Like that's how I knew him growing up. That's how I'm always gonna know him. But I thought the match was awesome. People were really into Booker T, raising the roof and doing all that stuff. And Booker T was their guy. He was one of their up and coming rising stars that they eventually got right, even though they had to force themselves to do it. But they got right.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's nice that Rick Martel had his little comeback, but just wasn't meant to be. And next match, I thought this match was better. This was Booker T versus Saturn. Saturn with hair was throwing me off. I gotta say that.
Yeah.
Saturn with a full head of hair. The cops need to be called on this guy for this. But these two I thought had really good chemistry. Saturn is really stepping up as part of this as part of the flock. He's really showing something as a singles guy. And these two had great chemistry in the ring, and it's a 14-minute match. Booker T wins. I thought this was basically like the first 30 minutes of the show was all Booker T, and the crowd was with it, and I'm with it. And you just knew even back in 1998 that this guy was going to be a world champion. And
Yeah.
credit to Vince Russo for pulling the trigger. Should have done it in a better way than calling Hulk Hogan a piece of shit and giving this guy the belt. But I think Booker T should have got the belt in 1999. There was no reason to wait that long. I enjoyed this whole sprint, and I thought Saturn did a great job. What did you think?
No, I thought they ever had another good match. To me, the crowd, and this continues for the night, the crowd kind of just dies for multiple. They pop for like big things, but then like the rest of the show, they're just kind of like sitting on their hands, which is
Mhm.
weird. Like they'll pop for this, the win, they'll pop for the spear, the jackhammer,
Well, they're waiting
DDP, things like that. But then like,
to get WO. That's what they're really there for.
yeah, well, they did love the NWO. Didn't love Luger, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And no, I thought it was a good match. Another showcase of their undercard just being on another level, which I will regret saying in a few matches, but it is just classic WCW '98. Again, I get these views of revenge, like when I see certain wrestlers, like the revenge opening and the revenge screen, and Booker T and Saturn are another two people who remind me of that game, that great game.
Well, it's a great game. It's one of those rosters you don't even need to create anybody because you can
Mhm.
still like have endless fascinating matchups with the roster they give you. Like
Yeah, Ric Flair is not in that game, and I didn't even realize it. Like like that's how like stacked the game is.
problems legal. That's the one,
Yeah,
but like that's the one flaw. But I'm still like it's you know what? Ric Flair's not in it, but Jim Neidhart is, so that makes it up.
exactly. There's your four horsemen.
Well, you can do that Hart Foundation versus the Outsiders, which why they didn't do that? I mean, why they didn't do that match when they had the chance? I'll never know. That
Did
would have
you
been.
did you want to see '97 Anvil against Kevin Nash?
I think Bret Hart can hide his fucking deficiency.
Okay, put all the work on Bret Hart, Scott Hall.
Kind of like beer money. It's like when they're together, it's just better. So
I wish they were together still. When James Storm, unfortunately, Bobby Roode got hurt, but I was like, hire him back. There's two people who need each other.
yeah,
It's those two. But to watch them come, watch Triple H bring them back now, and they're gonna be like the machine guns and get no pops. But
they'll have beer money get squashed by like fucking Braun Breaker and the other guy.
it'll be
Um,
Wheatley money now because the got to do the Wheatley sponsorship.
Eating the Wheatley money. Jesus. All right, next up, this match, main event anywhere in the world, I say, Disco Inferno versus La Parca. Um, uh, it's not. The crowd did not give a shit about this match. I don't understand how they couldn't get La Parca over more because he's very fascinating to me. It's not a bad match, but I don't think they. Every now and then they try to make Disco Inferno into like a real wrestler, and they give him like,
Yes.
you can do it. But if we're gonna do it, you kind of have to change the gimmick. He can't be Disco Inferno. He's got to be Glenn Gilbert or something, or like because then it just like it takes away. Because if Disco Inferno as a doofus can out wrestle and beat La Parca, it takes away from like how talented and good these lucha guys are. If like Disco Inferno can just beat the shit out of them and then go get
Yeah.
it. But I mean, other than that, I thought it was a good match. What did you think of it?
It was fine. I mean, I think Laparca had people wanted to see the chair. Um, and he does chair stuff later. It's a little surprising to that's a rib, right? Disco Inferno doing the chart buster, the stunner.
Think they were doing it to fuck with Stone Cold, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, let's pick our worst person and have them do their top move, which kudos to them. Yeah, it's a weird feud that they had going. I think the main part of that feud, the biggest point thing to come from that feud, and it's not even that match. It's the gif of Disco dancing, and then La Parker runs up and hits him in the back with a chair. I think a couple nitros before. So that if I guess that's worth it. This match is worth it because we got that.
Yeah, it was yeah, it was I liked it. I mean, I know the crowd doesn't give a shit, but like the fun thing about wrestling is that you can watch these things that probably when you were watching live, you're like, why are they wasting fucking 12 minutes on this? I want to see Hogan Sting, right? But
Mm,
oh, that you're so far removed, you can just watch this as an athletic exhibition, and it's like, okay, Disco Inferno when he wanted to be wasn't that bad. It's just there's no follow up, and then he's being made to look like a buffoon on Saturday night a week later. You're like, why did you waste my time with that on the pay per view? But just watching it now, it's fine.
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think I said this before. It's going to happen with John Cena's retirement down the line. People are going to wax poetic about every match that he did, except for the Travis Scott one. and and it's just something about being removed from WCW. We know who won. We know everything is over. You can see a match like that and be like, oh, cool, nice, or
Yeah,
not nice.
I mean, listen, I thought it was gonna be fucking dog shit. It was pretty good. So, okay, up next we get Mean Gene with JJ Dillon. Man, I was watching him. This guy was good on the mic 10 years ago, 10 years before this. What the fuck happened to this guy? He cuts this meandering promo that that they really checked it, and Nick Patrick is reinstated, and they're restating him, and they give this big like they had this real meeting. I want to see. This is what I want to see. I know it's too late. Maybe AI can make this a reality show of the WCW Championship Committee having meetings about Nick Patrick. Like, 'cause he makes it sound like it was a Congress. Like they had like someone. We should ban Nick Patrick, or we should. I want to see these meetings. If maybe that's a good use of AI. But Nick Patrick comes out and cuts horrible mic work. Uh, they try so hard to make a character, and then they stop every now and then. And it's like, just fucking make this guy a character if you want him to be a character so bad. But this like in and out shit kind of stinks. I thought this was a waste of time. What do you think?
I did too. The only thing that I liked was that Nick Patrick was like, "Hey, where's my back pay?" It's like he wanted more money for being suspended, even though it was his own fault. But that's the only thing I took from it. But other than that, I could have done without it.
Yeah, I think well, I mean I understand that they're trying to build intrigue to like is Sting gonna get screwed, but I don't know, man. It's just why isn't Bret Hart more involved in this? Like he's
Bret
like
Hart not being on the show, unless he had prior obligations, is just a mystery.
an episode of Murder She Wrote to watch at home, you know?
Yes, it was that time of year.
Yeah. Is that even still on the air back then? All right. So
It was on before Ross.
Oh yeah, the reruns. So
Yeah.
throughout, Tony Schiavone keeps saying that like, oh, we got a surprise for you. We got this big surprise for you, and they're not really. They're not. They're just hinting that you. Well, we're gonna give you something you're really gonna like, and I don't know what I thought it was gonna be. Right? Because
Hmm.
look at the format, and so Brad Armstrong walks out, and they're like, "Oh, they're still like, oh, we got something you're really gonna like." Because I'm not. And then Goldberg's music hits, and the place goes insane. I mean, between Starcade and now, while they're fucking up everything with Sting and Luger and everything, this guy has become the most over guy on the fucking show. This crowd explodes for Bill Goldberg, and Bobby Heenan is going nuts about it. Bobby Heenan sees the path. He sees the fuck. He goes like, I would come back to manage this guy. Like he's the man. Like he's already got like his the wording because they use Heenan saying the man in video packages to this day about.
Yeah.
And Goldberg comes out, squashes fucking Brad Armstrong, and wins, and the crowd is just going bananas. And I don't know how they did it. I don't think they know how they did it, but they did it. They got this fucking guy over, more over than anybody else on, most over babyface on the show. And man, what do you? I think when you watch this match, I think this is why Triple H hates Goldberg. Do you ever see that Tough Enough clip where he's just shitting on Bill Goldberg?
Yeah, because the guy has the Goldberg poster up.
Here's the thing. Goldberg was hired to do wrestling. He just showed up every week and did what they told him, and he got over. It's not like Goldberg owned the company and got himself over. This is happening naturally. And Triple H has to be sitting in 1998 livid because he has to just constantly carry someone's bags to get even 1/10 over as Goldberg. And it must eat up some of these guys alive because it just happened naturally. It just happened. And they
Yeah.
understand that. But it's like it's not Goldberg's fault, but also it's like this is something to be celebrated when someone gets over like this, and it's very impressive. It's very very impressive. This was a fun little match. What do you think?
Just classic Goldberg, you know. I think Goldberg is not, if anyone knows me, not my favorite, not even close. But I remember this reign very well, and I can appreciate everything for what it was when he would. It was cool to watch, even though I'm not a fan. It was cool to watch. He would come in, beat the shit out of somebody in record time, and then leave. And fans really, really got into it to the point that they actually put the title on him and made him like the top guy before everything goes to crap. But it it is something that is working. It is something that can still work today. It was keep good, good for Goldberg. I don't know what else to say. It's fun. I wonder what the March Uncensored match is gonna be.
Yeah, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Really fun. I'm excited to see how this grows. So funny. His biggest matches are actually on Nitro. They're not even on. He beats Raven. To this day, Raven Goldberg is my favorite Nitro match. Well, to this day, it's not like they had any more, so it's kind of set in stone.
Yeah, yeah, you never know.
I should watch more Nitros. I still, you know what I want to see? Sting versus Dave Malenko, which went a long time in 1995. That was a match.
Oh wow. Well,
And it
you
went
got 12 hours in the past, I
shit.
think.
Oh man. But yeah, and then Goldberg Hogan, which I kind of thought was dumb. I still believe they should have saved that for a pay-per-view, but it is what it is, you know? It is what it is.
Yeah, it was at that time that ratings for TV were more important than the buy rates for the pay-per-views. It was about beating WWF, beating WCW, so you were getting these big things, Hell in a Cell tag matches and title changes on the Raws, which is cool for us watching. Don't have to spend $40 on it, but
You know what? I say all that. I remember that night. I remember watching it. I remember being like, "Oh, not gonna let him beat Hogan this soon," and then they did, and I was like, "Man, because you can't beat Hogan." But
I
back
remember
then,
flipping over. I flipped over to
I
watch
remember,
it.
I remember being my friend. Why I remember like everything. So like I go, I don't, I barely remember. I barely remember Cena beating JBL, and that was like, like I obviously I saw it, but I don't remember how I felt that night. You know. And I saw that live, and but I remember everything about this Goldberg title win. So maybe you know what, they probably were right to do it. So what the fuck do I know? It was a great moment. You know, they
Yeah,
just didn't go up
it's
on
about
it.
moments. It's about moments.
That's why everything's you know what? That's why with that Braun Breaker not beat CM Punk, but Jericho will come out, and then there'll be a moment about making moments for the WWE universe. All right, that probably
Which
didn't.
may or may not happen. We don't know yet. We'll find out.
All right, speaking of the Ayatollah Rock and Rolla, let me tell you something. The funniest thing is, no matter what happens in the future, I can say this: the funniest fucking thing is seeing these pro AEW accounts turn on Jericho now that it's pretty much been confirmed he's probably going to go to WWE for a final run. The switch up is hilarious. The it's I mean it's really fucking funny. They really vilify you if you leave AEW. You become a bad person. Nixon Newell, they treat Nixon Newell like she's a sex offender because she didn't want to work in AEW. Like it's fucking hilarious how this fan base is. But let's talk about a time when Jericho would have benefited AEW. It's in 1998. So Chris Jericho versus Juventud Guerrero. If Jericho wins, he gets the mask. Let me tell you something how I know how good Jericho is doing. Because when I got back into wrestling, my friend who no longer watches wrestling now, he probably doesn't even remember this. My friend told me this whole story and told me why this was important for Juventud to have the mask. That I and like was invested in this cruiserweight story. He's not a work rate guy. He's a Hogan.
Mm,
He's a Savage guy. He's a Piper guy. He does not give a shit about Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels. He does not care about Owen Hart. He was fucking invested in this Juventud shit. That's how I know what Jericho was doing back then worked. Because if you get a guy like, and that's why, can I say something also? That's why storylines matter beyond matches. Because this guy who is, he's again, he was a guy spending money on wrestling, but he's not into All Japan, New Japan, ECW, was fucking invested in Juventud Guerrero because you gave him a good story. All I gotta say.
yeah. No, a good story. I think good stories beat out good matches. And it's a weird thing to say. I know people are gonna it would be like, "Oh, how can you say that?" I think a good match, almost anyone should be able to have a good match. And you can have a good match, and you have a good match with a good story, or a good match, a good story within the match. But you take something with an actual build and actual stakes. Someone people are going to care a lot more. People are going to want to see it. Juventud, I think the in the beginning of January was like nothing. And now he is in this storyline where people are invested in what's going to happen with him, with his mask, with what's next. Like, you got a new character out of this
Yeah.
instead of just cruiserweight number 8. And I think Jericho was knocking it out the park at this time.
Jericho is, I think Goldberg and Jericho are the MVPs of this company right now. Jericho is just a fantastic match with Juventud. It's so funny because they were both like nothing. They were like nothing,
Hmm.
and now like they're both Jericho is using his nothing to make Juventud a big deal, which is crazy to me. That's how fast Jericho's got himself over. But match is great. Jericho catches him in the live and tamer. Guerrero gives up. They take off the mask. I think Juventud. I think taking off the mask was a great move. I don't think everybody needs the mask. I think Juventud was better off without the mask. He should have also been off the drugs, but that's a whole other story. But I think his
That's
ability and his connection with the crowd, I was way more connected with him. Well, I really wasn't watching when he had a mask, but when I watch his old matches when he has a mask on, he just looks like everybody else. Without the mask, he stood out. I thought so. This is a guy who got more over losing and tapping out again. Two matches where the guy taps out and they get more over. I thought it was a great match. Jericho does some crowd work, fucking fun. Blast. So far, this show is firing on all cylinders, even with this Disco Inferno match. How crazy is that?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of I remember this match vividly. I remember who taking off the mask. Um, he definitely benefits without it because he's not ugly. Like it was weird. He took off the mask and he looked like a Mexican Michael Jackson. Like he was not ugly. Like not even in a little bit. If anything, they could have made a whole new character out of him being just kind of like a more attractive looking wrestler. They didn't, and that could be for various reasons. But Juventud. like I agree with you. It definitely helped his career and helped people connect with him, even if like he eventually goes off the deep end and gets himself in trouble multiple times. But it was cool. It was cool to have a new character like Juventud and someone that you can connect with instead of like just someone in a mask. And I like the guys in the mask. I like Super Kilo. I like Lismark Jr. But like there were so many of them, and just helped make Juventud stand out.
Yeah, listen, I like Lismark Jr.'s look. Apparently, the internet says he was a bad worker. Okay, whatever. I like
I don't
Lismark.
know. It's
Yeah,
too
I
many
don't.
people to watch.
I like Lismark Jr.'s look, but to be honest with you, he looks like a dollar store Rey Mysterio. Like it's like it's like the look is cool, but then Rey Mysterio comes out, and you're like, so like, yeah, some of these mask guys were cool and shit, but
Yeah, Psychosis had one of the best masks. They had the horns, so
like
that always stood out.
that was a
Yeah.
whole other. He was great as the mask, but Juventud, it was the right move. It was the right move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of Juventud, even though nobody remember. Oh, he Juventud wrestled on AEW. I forgot about that.
Yeah, a couple years against Chris Jericho.
Oh, I gotta watch that. All right, that was fun.
That's available. That you'll be able to watch.
I thought I could watch. All
Yeah.
right, next, man, this was hard to watch, and this I know this match was 6 minutes long. It didn't feel like that. British Bulldog versus Steve McMichael.
Mm-mm.
Follow spread over to WCW. I'm gonna say it. Somehow even a bigger mistake, a massive mistake. Should have done. They had nothing to do with this guy. I mean, this guy was a few years ago was a main eventer in WCW. Like he was a main eventer in WWE, and now he's nothing. And not only is he being pushed like nothing, I don't know what the fuck happened to this guy because this match was atrocious, and it's not all Mongo. British Bulldog from November to February is like a different fucking wrestler. He is
Mm.
sluggish. He looks bloated. He looks tired. And the finish is insane. The finish is Bulldog puts him in an armbar, and that's it. Is he doesn't do his moves. He doesn't do anything. And man, fucking I guess Bulldog accelerated his drug use for Christmas and Valentine's Day or something, but
Oh
this is
no.
guy from November. This is not the same guy from One Night Only or even Survivor Series. Who he had a pretty good showing in the Survivor Series match. This is not the same guy. This it's fucking sad to watch. What did you think?
It was sad. I when I saw heard Mongo's music and I was like, I wonder who he's facing. I heard the Bulldog music. I don't usually make a lot of like frowns or like a PU kind of reaction, and I immediately was like, oh no, this is not gonna be any good. And I was right. I wish I didn't have to say that. May they both rest in peace. But it sucked. It was not good. I don't know what happened to the Bulldog. Um, he almost never recovers. He always kind of stays. I know he goes back to the WWE, but he just kind of is just there. And it's a shame for somebody who 6 years prior, 5 to 6 years prior, main evented SummerSlam and was a big deal in both WWF and WCW. And then just kind of like a slow decline, and it's unfortunate to see.
Yeah, rough, rough, man. And it's just gonna get rougher, and he's gonna get that injury, and yeah, fucking rough, man. This guy, I feel bad, but you know what? It's your fault. So,
Not my fault. I had the Bulldog wristband as a kid, the
uh,
nylon one.
well,
That was
I have a British Bulldog T-shirt. I'm not wearing it right now, but I do.
Yeah. Well, I got mine when he was alive, so he was still here. I was supporting. I was a big fan. I had the braids. He's a white dude with braids, and I was like, all right, let him rock.
Up next, man. Very surprising how good this was. Maybe I shouldn't be. DDP versus Chris Benoit. And I gotta say this as a message to every wrestler out there. If you're not that good or you think you're stuck in a comedy role, you need to study the career of Diamond Dallas Page. Because I will admit, when I got back into wrestling and they said DDP is I was like, what? And even in '98 when he would come on, I would barely pay the. I just was like not giving him the time of day, right?
Hmm.
Watching it more critically, and this fucking guy, first of all, he starts off. super late, right?
Mm.
And he becomes a comedy character. And you would just be like, yeah, that's all he's going to be. And he stinks for years. He stinks. He's getting on TV and he's not that good. I'm talking like way into 1995. And then around 96, he starts like fucking taking himself seriously. And you get to this match. And the announcers talk about that he studies. They go over like why this guy is like going blow for blow now with Chris Benoit when they wouldn't even dream to put him in this position in like early '96.
Yeah, not even little.
Yeah, he fucking transformed himself at in his 40s. I think he's in his 40s at this point. He transforms himself into a great worker. He willpowers it. He doesn't listen to people like me. Like I don't want to watch this guy on TV. He doesn't listen to the wrestlers talking shit in the back. He doesn't listen to ageism. He just fucking does it. And the culmination of his transformation, I think, is this match. And this match is going to be lost to time very soon. Go out of your way to watch it. He does not. He goes blow for blow with Benoit. He does not. He is not like, oh, Benoit. Like he. There's never a point where Benoit's like fucking wrestling circles around him. He's keeping up with Benoit on a work rate level, and it is a fucking banging match. It's really good, man. He rose to the task. He wins with a diamond cutter in a cool little sequence. These guys are killing it. This match is going to vanish very soon. I really think the Benoit stuff is going to be lost to time. I really don't see TKO putting these shows back unedited. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you can find this match, take a look. I thought it was fantastic. What did you think?
Someone said that the Benoit, like they mentioned his name in one of the nitros or something that they put up. So maybe they're gonna just try and quietly sneak him on. Who knows? But as for the match, I remember this run. This is a run within this. I know Raven gets involved eventually, and just a series of like great matches with these guys. So I'm on board with this. I liked DDP. I liked the Rock. I even liked him when he was like Battle Bowl champion, big cigar coming out to the schools out for summer ripoff. I always kind of liked him. And then like he started to transform into like an actual like performer that you could watch, or at least if you didn't really care about the work rate, you cared about when he's gonna pull that diamond cutter out and how he's gonna pull that diamond cutter out. And that was one where that was a really cool one they did with Chris Benoit. But it's hard to have a bad match with Chris Benoit. It happens. And DDP really stepped up. It wasn't Benoit doing all the work. It was just a great group of wrestlers facing each other, and then that's only gonna get better because I know there's more to come with this feud. Although we won't
Yeah,
be able to see the TRL thing that happened with Raven, DDT's DDP, and TRL.
yeah,
Maybe it'll
you
be on
know,
the uncensored video package.
maybe that's another great match. The three way with Raven, and
Yeah.
then Raven have some good matches. And then DDP has Goldberg's best match. He has a great year. He has a good match with Bret Hart. Nobody talks about. He has a great
Mm.
match with the Giant. Him and Sting have the second best match in Nitro history, uh,
Mm.
which is on
What an
DDP
ending. Yeah.
Blu-ray. Yeah, that's probably the last great Nitro. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, wrestling fans, there's a Nitro where in the middle of the show, Sting beats DDP for the title. And at the end of the show, DDP beats Sting back for the title. And it's during that month long reign DDP had from April to May of '99. And Ric Flair is just cutting these insane promos all throughout the show about Ric Flair shit. And that's it. That's the last like this is fucking fantastic. It's almost like an episode of Dynamite more than a Nitro.
And then it gets weird.
Then it gets weird.
And then the apron becomes blue, and then nothing's ever the same.
Yeah. So video package from the Giant. He's gonna come back, I guess, on Nitro the next night.
Was he supposed to be there and he really couldn't get a flight, or he really got stuck, or they just did that for time or something?
I could see the flight because they're idiots, but I also could see he could save something for Nitro tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I could see either one. I gotta look. I'm sure Meltzer will know, but fuck him. Anyway, all right. Up next, this is where. Well, no, it's this is a little rough. It's Randy Savage versus Lex Luger. Short match. Not very. It's another disqualification match. Not good. It's not good. And here's why also it's not good. Hogan comes out and refuses to help Savage, taunts Savage, and I think Hogan coming out minimizes Sting and
Mm.
takes away from the main angle, and it's clear Hogan's angle now that he wants to do is with Savage. It's more of an angle than a match, but man, Luger is just not what he was even a year ago. It's all these older guys, they're falling apart. They're falling apart fast. And I'm talking about Sting, and I'm talking about Luger, and let's throw Hogan in there. It's the writing was on the wall, and they just went, nah, it's not really on the wall. Yeah, rough little match. What did you think?
I didn't really like it. I think they're trying different things with Savage. They're trying these. They're starting the Savage Hogan storyline before the Sting Hogan storyline is over, and that was very annoying. I did think it was weird, and I didn't know if this was just like 2025 wrestling fan brain that like Hogan came out the match, but like two matches before to like interfere in this one instead of like actually focusing on Sting and the big deal that that should be. But I'm glad you thought it was weird too, because I was just like, why are you out here right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have a match to worry about. But they didn't. I don't think they would do that today. But yeah, Luger, it wasn't a very good match. They're chanting Luger sucks, which is unfortunate because they were on their feet a year ago when he won the world championship. I don't know. I don't know. This is why I was like it's like a weird show. It's always like there's so many good matches on here, and then there's like the Bulldog with Michael, and then Luger, and then what we're gonna have next, and then it just kind of like always kind of throws this show so far to the left, and then it tries to steer its way back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, up next, I don't know. Not much of a match, but it's a great angle. Um,
Mm,
Steiner brothers with Ted DiBiase versus the Outsiders and Dusty Rhodes. In a tag match for the tag belts, and very short. Scott turns on Rick. Great little moment. What I was shocked is that Rick keeps wrestling for a while after Scott.
hmm
Whatever, like maybe Rick said, I gotta get a little a fight. The heat though from the survey was great. I'll tell you my favorite moment. My favorite moment of this match that I didn't realize happened in all these years. I didn't think this actually happened. Dusty Rhodes beats the shit out of Ted DiBiase,
Yeah.
and you know what? That's that's closed the loop in my life because I hated that Ted DiBiase took Sweet Sapphire from Dusty Rhodes at
Yeah.
SummerSlam 90. Finally, Dusty Rhodes gets revenge and takes Scott Steiner from Ted DiBiase. He has to be carried out like a bitch. Never seen again in WCW. Finally, Sapphire has been avenged, and I'm all about it. I never thought Dusty Rhodes got it. Dusty Rhodes' last match in WWE, Ted DiBiase beats him and just shoves him out of the ring, and he sends the Undertaker after him. And finally, Dusty Rhodes gets his goddamn revenge the way it's meant to be. So I'm happy. Listen, is this was this a good match? No, it's not. But it was a great heel turn, and it was a very important heel turn. I was thinking to myself watching the show, like, wow, like the NWO is kind of over, but I associate Scott Steiner so much with the NWO, more so than WCW,
Yeah.
because he joins so late. But this was a very important moment for Scott Steiner. This is where Scott Steiner becomes a fucking legend. And I thought it was a very well done heel angle. What do you think?
Nah, I thought the angle was. I know I just said like before it gets weird and they take the show to the left. But if you were looking forward to the match, you weren't getting it. That's what I meant there. The actual angle, awesome, very very well done. You would have not have seen that coming in a million years. I know they had their like issues, but in the middle of the match for Scott Steiner to do the elbow the axe handle to his own brother. Very, very shocking. I was also shocked that Rick Steiner got offense and a decent amount of offense too before like actually losing. It's like when you hit your finisher in like one of the games, especially now with like 2K, which drives me nuts. You'll do the objective where you're like, Hogan drops the leg. All right, now go for the cover. Then the fucking person kicks out. And you're like, no, we did the script. Like it's exactly how you said. Like, what do you mean I have to hit him with another leg drop? Get out of here. But that's these games for you now. Um, it was yeah, it was really really well done, and I'm with you. Scott Steiner helps breathe some new life into the NWO. I know they split them up, but you remember Big Papa Pump, you remember the blonde hair, and all that stuff is coming really really soon. Uh, Great idea for Steiner. Dusty Rhodes. I love these full circle moments with Ted DiBiase on the outside. First, Vincent last month, even though he was in the wrong there, Vincent should always be the good guy there. And now this month, Dusty Rhodes beats the shit out of him. So all his WWE storylines are like playing out in the background with no camera on them, but
I
you
know.
have to watch them and enjoy it. So that definitely does add an extra bonus to it.
Yeah. Yeah, like, am I supposed to boo Scott Steiner? Like, fuck you. Get DiBiase out of here. All the Tonka. I want also Luger to hit him a few times before he gets out.
Why not? Also, he's taking bumps, which I know he wasn't. I thought he wasn't supposed to do.
They made him take a big bump on this show. He's not supposed to be doing
Yeah,
that. Interesting. I don't know. All right, here we go. The main event. Sting. When this match starts, Sting runs to the ring, and I'm like, oh, they learned their lesson because I've never seen this match. They learned
yeah. Did immediately.
the most of this fucking match. And then as you win clean, the ref bumps. Nick Patrick comes in. Hogan has to basically retrocon the ending of like you're supposed to screw him over. This is what we talked about. And Nick Patrick, no, we got to get Nick Patrick over as a face. And and then the NWO comes out. Savage hits Hogan. Sting covers him. I this was both. I was shocked. I could have sworn there's some reality where these Sting Hogan matches were good, but they've both been fucking dog shit. Sting wins, but who cares? Who cares? It no longer matters. It doesn't matter. The way they treat the finish, it's the announcers know like, oh, this is just another chapter. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter because in 2 months Sting loses the belt, and he doesn't get it back until DDP shit, which is after the NWO storyline. So it's stunk. This is a waste. Hogan being selfish like this, it's like you wonder why Vince Russo called you a piece of shit. Vince Russo was probably watching this stuff. It's like I'm not going to use this guy. Like if I get total control, I'm just not. I got to figure out a way not to use him. But it's like
Mhm.
this stuff doesn't help. It doesn't help Hogan. Like bro, like your selfishness worked to your benefit until December '97. Now it's actively hurting this fucking company and
Yeah.
arrogance. You know,
No, no, I agree. I think I said it before. I think it was a weird choice to like immediately start the Macho Man storyline and like while this thing was ending. Give Sting his definitive moment, which is just something Hogan would not do. Give Sting his definitive moment, and then you can do whatever you want with Macho Man and Hogan and all that other nonsense. But it just kind of came and went. Sting has the. I thought when the JJ Dillon came in the ring, they were like, "Hey, we all saw Macho Man with the face paint. Let's restart this match or whatever nonsense." But they didn't do that. It was just like everyone just accepted it, almost like, "Fuck it, we're not doing this again. Here you go, bye." And it's not fair for Sting personally. That's what I think.
not fair to Flair either. He wasn't even.
No, man, he had
Yeah,
his own problems going on.
it's it's. I think '98 is where Hogan gets. So also '98 is where Hogan signs a new contract where he gets that merch thing and he gets like I
Yeah.
fan did a reading of his contract. Now to be in Hogan's defense, Vince Russo was an absolute by the definition of the law. Vince Russo absolutely violated every fucking facet of that contract. He absolutely
Hmm.
wrong. They were in the wrong. Um, you have
Entertaining TV.
if you yeah, but like that he has bro. He if he shows up to Nitro, he gets a bonus. If he walks out of Nitro, he gets another bonus. If he has a match in Nitro, he gets a third. Like there's all these fucking incentives. He got money for pay-per-views even if he wasn't there. Like he just kept getting money after money after money. He was like obligated to like only show up like twice, and he would still walk away with millions or something. His contract that he gets in 1998 is insane, and this is around the
Ridiculous contract.
time. Yeah, and I think this is when he starts getting more protective of the top spot and more like because I think like the way the contract works is he's still. This is a crazy thing. Oh, my camera went off. What happened?
I thought you did that on purpose.
No, I don't know what happened. This is the crazy thing. Hogan starting next month could be in the opening match, beating fucking La Parca in 3 seconds, and he would still be the highest paid guy on the show. But because his bonus for being in the main event is so high, he he has
You had
to,
to make sure.
and he could be getting squashed by La Parca. well, 12 and he would still be the highest paid guy.
Yeah, I
But
see. I just pulled up the contract right here.
the 98 contract, it's
Yeah,
he has.
crazy.
Yeah.
$2 million signing bonus, six pay-per-views a year. This is man. All right.
But you can say the contract's not fair, but what Russo does, and I hope we get to it, he was in the wrong. Hogan, you can't. He was in the wrong, but it is what it is. So we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I like this better than No Way Out, but hey, man, there's still a lot of problems. But I still enjoyed it. What do you think?
No, I liked it better than No Way Out as well. I think WCW has similar problems that TNA had. Not as many problems that AEW has. And I'll throw WWE in there too. They'll have this wave of momentum throughout the show, and then that momentum will just die, or they'll just do something incredibly stupid, and then you're like, wait, what, why did that happen? And then they just have to move on with it because who cares after this point? But no, I enjoyed most of the matches. I could do without Goldberg, Bulldog, Mongo, and I just wish Sting had a more definitive victory.
Also, this is a personal milestone for me. After watching this show, I have seen maybe some of them I half-ass watched when I was younger. I've seen every WCW pay-per-view now.
There
So
you
I'll be
go. Congratulations.
yeah. Now I have to, yeah, because I started getting them. My friend would record them off his box and give them to me starting in '98. Then I got cable for the first time ever, February 2000. First pay-per-view I ordered was Superbrawl 2000, and it's a horrible show, but it was so great to be like, I'm watching a WCW pay-per-view in my room live.
Yeah.
Um, and I ordered every WCW pay-per-view until they went under. So I've seen them all now. These 298 were like the ones I never saw, and I'm glad I saw them. I'm glad I saw them before they took it down. And it's we'll see I don't want to talk too much about the current events because everything could be different by the time we put this episode out. But an enjoyable show. Did you like it?
I did. I did like it.
All right. So let's go over the next 4 weeks. I can tell you right now, next week and the week after, definitely happening. So next week, Living Dangerously 98. It's Chris Candido and Shane Douglas versus Lance Storm and Al Snow. Then in 2 weeks, it's Uncensored 98. It's Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Then in 3 weeks, it's WrestleMania 14. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels. Then in 4 weeks, it's Spring Stampede. Macho Man Randy Savage versus Sting. What are you looking forward to?
Oh boy. Let's go to WrestleMania now. Let's go to WrestleMania. Living Dangerously will be watched. If not soon, I have no choice. It's gonna go away in like 5 minutes. So Living Dangerously, I'm about to watch. And then I don't know what's going on with these WTW pay-per-views in terms of like the main events. I'm not really excited for Macho Man Hogan or Macho Man Sting. Hopefully I will be proven wrong. So let's go with WrestleMania 14.
Yeah. And again, so I can confirm we have a way to watch Living Dangerously and Uncensored. We don't know about WrestleMania 14. So we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it week by week, day by day. But I hope we can stick to the plan. But we will
Hmm.
definitely see you 100%. We will definitely next week be living dangerously. We'll see you then. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.